Thank you, Vicki. This is Mary Kate, officially Mary Catherine, just basically for publication purposes. We appreciate your joining today's session. The FHSLA TBLC collaboration started as a way to network between FHSLA Health Sciences and medical librarians and public librarians. We serve the same communities of people, so we just get different types of questions. So it's nice to be able to network and be able to offer resources to share ideas and thoughts, and possibly in the future work towards a collaborative community initiatives. Angie, do you want to advance the slides? Okay, and next one. The sessions are offered monthly. We had initially started on Wednesdays. We're now at the second Tuesday of the month, and noon to 1 p.m. We try to plan topics out at least a quarter or two per throughout the year. So if there are any topics that you think would be interesting for your patrons, please share that with us. We'll be more than happy to recruit official members to present and share any helpful resources. Again, these are all freely available resources. We may make some and also provide suggestions for collection development resources. Next slide. And these sessions are recorded. They're available to FHSLA and TBLC members. FHSLA TBLC is going to have them available through their YouTube channel. Is that correct, Vicki? And they'll be accessible for a year. If you have any questions, you can always reach out and contact us, and we look forward to presenting this information. Angie's going to present on adult health topics, so please welcome Angie.
Thanks, Mary Kate. All right, so I am going to talk a little bit about adult heart information resources that are available to you, as well as finding resources on your own to kind of supplement if you are looking for additional resources as well. So this is Heart Awareness Month, or American Heart Month. So the #1 cause of death in the United States is heart disease. So the resources that we are going to cover are extremely important. These are some of the tools that I'm going to be talking about today from the American Heart Association, CDC, Medline Plus, and the World Health Organization. Now, these are my top picks for the tools that we can use for adults, and also you'll find pediatric tools as well. But because heart disease is the #1 cause of death in the United States in a normal year, there are many, many, many resources available on the web that you can find on this topic. So while our list may cover some of the top picks, there are going to be many other reliable sources that you can find on your own, or that patrons may ask about as well when they are searching for heart-related information. So I will also give you some tips on how to spot good ones and bad ones when you are searching for tools online. So the first tool that I wanted to talk about is the American Heart Association. And for me, the American Heart Association is the gold standard for heart-related health information. It is the most reliable and accessible organization providing heart health information to the public, and it's the easiest recommendation for library staff and for adults to find information on. So some highlights that I like to make note of is it does have an explanation of heart disease and heart-related conditions. It also provides caregiver support resources, common treatments. It provides fact sheets. It has an interactive, collaborative cardiovascular library. It also provides information on impacts of COVID-19 on the whole body and the heart, as well as information for companies to get involved in activism and education on CPR. So there's some really great resources that are available from the American Heart Association. And I just like to take a second to just kind of show you what that looks like when you are accessing the website. So a couple of things that are really important is the health topics here from heart.org. You'll really find everything related to many different heart conditions under the health topics. So there's just a lot of information right there, easily accessible. Under consumer healthcare, which is really what a lot of patrons might look for, what you might want to recommend, is really a great starting point because it provides that what is cardiovascular disease, and it just gives you that basic level of information while not being overly extensive. I like to point this out also because it provides that specific information for adults, like for menopause, travel, family history. So those adult topics are really, really helpful under the consumer health section. And also for libraries in general, under healthy living, you'll also find company collaboration. And this is where you can find information on activism and CPR training and things like that. So that's really helpful for libraries as a whole, and not even just, focusing on patron information. So, so that's just a quick look at the American Heart Association and all the different tools that they do offer on their website. All right, so going back, the next tools that I wanted to talk about was the CDC. And the CDC is another great trusted resource for adults looking for health information. I know we normally look at the CDC for information on obviously pandemics or health emergencies, but they also have really great resources for health conditions, diseases, and their heart disease section is one of the good ones as well that they offer from the CDC. So from there, they offer an overview of heart disease and related conditions, risks for heart disease prevention, heart health resources, and they also have specifically information for men and women, as well as data and statistics. So the CDC is another really great resource, and it's a really easy to navigate and easy to understand resource as well. So this is the CDC page here. You can see just everything about heart disease is on that front page, where you can click on about heart disease, the risk, prevention, and resources for health professionals as well. And they provide their sources right at the beginning of the page. So everything is just really easily accessible. I always say to start, just at the basics, and here at about heart disease page, you can find the information for men in heart disease and women in heart disease. So these are just really great resources for adults, and it has all the data and statistics that might be relevant for the public that might be asking, or if somebody who just wants to learn more about heart disease in general. Okay, so moving along, Medline Plus is under the umbrella of the National Institutes of Health, and they again are another great resource to provide information that you might be looking for heart-related health information. So Medline Plus has an easy to follow guide that includes information on diagnosis and tests, also prevention and risk factors in treatment and living with heart conditions. So they have specific information for adults, adult men, women, and older adults, as well as patient handouts from the medical encyclopedia. So I really like to mention them because they are another excellent resource that provides information that is easily referenced to and provides all of the sources. It's reliable, up to date, and they have that information specifically for adult populations. So one thing you'll see from Medline Plus is that it does draw data from other sources as well. So you'll see here the Mayo Foundation for Medical Education and Research. So this is also another great place to find additional resources that we may not mention in our list here. So you'll see American Association for Clinical Chemistry, things like that. So at the top of the page, it just has all of the different places that you might want to visit. So in this case for men, if we're looking for men and heart disease, women and heart disease, or even older adults, that information is all easily accessible, as well as those patient handouts. So another easy to navigate website as well. All right, and then the last resource that I like to talk about is the World Health Organization. And with the World Health Organization, it's a great resource for worldwide health data, which includes an overview of symptoms and treatment guides, as well as fact sheets and news for worldwide health disease prevention. So if you're talking to a patron that may not necessarily live in the United States, or they may have family that they're searching for information for that are outside of the United States, this is another great source of information as well that can provide international information as well as United States health data. Give me 1 second, I will show you that site. So with the World Health Organization, again, you're going to get easily accessible information. They have an overview. They provide information on symptoms and treatment. They have those fact sheets that we were talking about for cardiovascular disease, hypertension, a lot of information that can be used by anyone and is very easy to understand as well. So, so definitely another tool that is a great resource for your patrons. All right. So moving along, like I mentioned in the beginning, there is a plethora of data available about heart disease on the internet. So it is important to be able to pick out what resources are there to help you and those that may have other motives than just your health. So the list I provided, I know it's a short list, but there's so many others out there that are also really valuable resources that can be used as well. But a couple things to look out for when you are looking at health information. Advertising is one thing to look out for, and I'm talking about lots of ads on the page. If there's one or two, that's usually okay, but if there's excessive advertising, that may give you a hint that the website has other motives other than just providing you with health information. Also, if the website provides promotion of specific products, like if they're trying to sell a specific medication or product, that can be a red flag as well. If the website has typos or grammatical errors, or if there is a lack of or difficult to find references. I know that a lot of people not in the healthcare field may not necessarily look for references as a point of reliability of a website, but that is something really important to look out for, is either references or information on their editorial process. Also, if it's difficult to decipher between fact and opinion, that is also something really important to look out for, and .com versus .org and .gov. So all of the websites that I am mentioning, as well as Mary Kate, are all going to be .org and .gov resources, because those are the most trusted, where .com is a little bit harder to vet. So that's definitely something also to look out for. And I'm just going to give you a quick example of this, just on a well-known website that many people go to for health information. We'll just kind of, just real quick look at some of the things that they do that may not be in our best interest. So advertising is one thing. I mean, this is the first page. I haven't even scrolled on this site, and you'll see we have 3 different advertisements. If you keep going down this page, there's going to be a ton more. So that's a red flag telling us, hey, they may have other intentions other than just providing health information. And I'm not saying all the information on the website is going to be wrong or inaccurate. They just may have other motives as well. Another thing that I mentioned was if there's a blurred line between fact and opinion. This blog page is right smack dab in the middle of fact information. So it's a little troubling to see, not necessarily a strong indication that this is, might be more opinion based than fact based. So, and it may all be, factual, reliable information, but it's another red flag that something may be off about the website. And then finally, resources. A good thing this website does provide its sources, but they are very deep, and I had to scroll through quite a few pages just to find this source here that I've pointed out on the page. And you'll see that the source is the American Heart Association. So honestly, it's just better to go straight to the source, the more reliable resource to get your information regarding health information. So that's just a quick example of how even well-known websites can have different motives in mind when they are providing you with health information. So that was all I had for adult resources, and I'm going to hand it back over to Mary Kate so that she can talk to you a little about pediatric resources.
Okay, if everyone will hold on for just a second as we transition screens, hopefully you'll see the pediatric resources screen now.
Yes, you're good to go.
Oh, good. Okay. Thank you. So my name's Mary Kate Haver. I've actually worked, I was fortunate to be able to work in a pediatric setting for just under 9 years. So I have experience working with patients and their families and general questions on health and also specific heart conditions, congenital heart defects. So today you'll see this is the list of sources that I'll be referencing. You'll see duplication between Angie and I. I'm going to start with the American Academy of Pediatrics. They have a Healthy Children's site that's freely accessible. We'll touch on the American Heart Association, the Centers for Disease Control, Medline Plus. Nemours Kids Health is a nice resource because it not only, it has targeted information based on specific audiences, so parent, child, teen. The Cove Point Foundation Congenital Heart Disease site provides access to congenital heart defects, conditions, and treatments. And then there's an additional resources page, and I'll show you when we get there. So for healthychildren.org is, let's see if it'll load. Always a good thing when the page loads. Yeah. This is a freely accessible site that's provided by the American Academy of Pediatrics. They have topics on healthy living, which includes nutrition, fitness, sports, oral health, which is something that may be overlooked with heart health. So it's good to encourage families to consider the entire child. Emotional wellness, growing healthy, and sleep. We'll be covering sleep next month, so please be sure to join us for that session. They also have ages and stages. So they'll break it down into prenatal, baby, toddler, preschool. So you can actually target based on the the individual's request for information. They also, if you scroll down the page, you'll see they have these links along the side too. Just to note, they do have information about COVID-19. So that can be helpful too. And the information is also available in Spanish, which can be very helpful. I know when working with families, I would always tend to print both the English and the Spanish versions. One, because I would be sure to check the review dates to make sure the information on both versions were close, if not exact. If there was a large discrepancy, I would use another source. But this way, if there are members of the family that only speak Spanish, then this way they would also have the remaining family members would have access to the English version. So that can be helpful. Go back. Within the healthy living section, there's information again about nutrition. They have recipes that also how to encourage your child, engaging your child in cooking and preparing meals to get a better sense of, what's a balanced meal, and also incorporating those healthy elements of foods and just basically management of a well-rounded diet. They do have the book, The Picky Eater Project, 6 Weeks to Happy, Healthier Family Meal Times, which might be of interest. This is also available as an ebook. There's fitness information, because especially with COVID, there may not be as many opportunities to, if there are team sports taking place. I know, for example, in our neighborhood, the city recently revamped our neighborhood park, and it's encouraging to see families out and being active and just, playing hide and seek, activities like that. There's also daily physical activity recommendations, and finding time to be active, being able to unplug and step away from your electronic devices. And there's also emotional wellness. I'll skip back here. The ages and stages, as I mentioned earlier, does break it down by specific age group, and also, what are some key areas that are a focus for toddlers: nutrition, and toilet training, grade school, fitness, school, teens, and also young adults, because it's that transition from living at home to going to college that could be, there might be, you might need adjustments may be needed, or it's like, no, you really shouldn't be doing that. So let's click back here. They also have a specific heart sections for congenital heart disease. And these would be articles that are available that you can print off. And again, it shows the cardiomyopathy in children and teens, challenges faced by parents with congenital heart disease. So these are support services and materials for the families. Next, we'll go to the American Heart Association. As Angie mentioned, there has a wealth of information about their focus is heart health. One page that jumped out to me was 5 tips to deal with picky eaters. And we'll see if this page loads. There it goes. So, they were discussing about, no short order cooking, plan meals to include at least one thing that everyone likes. Remember that it takes 11 tries to accept something new, which has jumped out at me because that explains a lot of reasons why introducing specific vegetables sometimes doesn't work. They emphasize not stressing, do not stress to clean the plate, and then encouraging your children to shop and cook with you, serving smart snacks. They also have information pertaining to sodium and also sugar content. There's a healthy for good Spanish graphic available. Back. They have a section on the daily tips to help families eat better. And we'll see if this page loads. No, okay. I have food, that's my issue. Yes. Let me go here. Just a second. Okay. We can go to the site quickly. Links do work, but it's just my connection. So these are some of the articles that they have available for congenital heart disease and topics for families. These are the congenital heart defects, tools, and resources. Also, special needs for children with congenital heart defects, physical activity. So these can all be helpful in assisting families with coping with caring for a child with congenital heart disease. So we'll skip to this. These, as Angie mentioned, the Centers for Disease Control, they have a healthy living page site. And as you scroll down, you'll see that they have information for life stages. So they do break it out by infants and toddlers, children, adolescents, and teens. And these resources, so it's children. They'll show specific to diseases and conditions, their safety in the home, also raising healthy children. So they provide information about body mass index, essentials for parenting, physical activity, and special needs. So we need back to school resources. And this, and then they actually go into details on how to calculate BMI, the percentile, how it's used for children and teens. Is it interpreted the same way for children and teens as it is for adults? And then they actually discuss why the healthy weight ranges can't be provided for children and teens. They have infant and toddler nutrition, physical activity sheets, adolescent and school health, congenital heart defects. So let's see how this goes. Okay. Please give me the page appears. You'll see that it's available in English and Spanish. They'll give a definition of what are congenital heart defects, what's known, the specific heart defects, living with congenital heart defects, There's fact sheets, articles, and there are real stories in case families want to read about families that are experiencing similar, experiencing the same type of condition with their child. They do have a page for about high blood pressure in kids and teens, and there's a survey, and it provides this information, and they'll show the studies of findings, what parents can do, especially food and drinks, learning more about sodium, and there's additional links down here. We always tend to check, we always encourage to check when the page was last reviewed. This is was February 24, 2020. So the information is relatively current within a year. Anything that's like 5 years, you may try to look for something that's more current. But it's good to always check the review date. Let's see. Go back here. So next page would be for the National Institutes of Health, National Library of Medicine's Medline Plus Consumer Health Database. They do have information pages that, as Andrew had mentioned earlier, it's a resource page, and then from the resource page, it provides links of a description, but also where to start and research, patient handouts. So this would be the example of the encyclopedia article. You'll be able to, if you click here to keep reading, it will scroll down the page. You'll see for high blood pressure in children that their age ranges is 1 to 13, and abnormal blood pressure readings are described as following: the possible causes, and also certain factors that can increase blood pressure. Also, as high blood pressure as an indicator of an underlying condition. Here are symptoms, exams and tests, treatments, outlook, possible complications, and they always include this one to contact a medical professional. They provide alternative means, and there are the references, and here's the review date. Nice thing with Medline Plus articles is they're also available in Spanish, and the layout is the same. You just have to continue, and the review date is usually about the same. So September 18th, August 5th, 2018. The nice thing with Medline Plus is they also have, you can access images, and we'll look at that in a second. Here's the page for critical congenital heart disease. And this is the enlarged image. So here's the heart. As you scroll through this page, they actually, this is a resource page. We'll give information about frequencies, causes, inheritance, other names for the condition, additional resources. What's interesting to note is this information is from the Genetics Home Reference, which used to be a separate database. It's now all integrated within Medline Plus, which is a nice option because you would tend to go between the two sites. Within this section, they actually provide information about specific congenital heart defects, coarctation of the aorta. We'll show you the image. I always found that, especially with heart conditions, it was always helpful to provide people with images so that while they have the text, they can actually look at a picture so that they can see what's actually happening. So images are available through Medline Plus. And Moore's Kids Health is the this is the source that provides information for parents, kids, the teens, but they also have an option for educators. So if you have a family that's their child has a chronic food condition, you can check here so that they can, or direct them to the for educators page to see section to see if they can print out information that they can hand to the teacher just to help with managing their child's care when the child's in school. What's nice about this site is, again, it's got images, which makes it interesting, makes it more understandable. People can see what's going on. So it supports the text information. They do have the information articles are available in Spanish. So this is sections on heart and blood vessels, heart conditions, caring for your child, wellness and prevention. They have a section for heart-healthy recipes and words to know. This is the Center for Kids. They have a heart conditions section for parents, which will provide a list of the heart anomalies that can occur within children, and they just click on it and here. So you'll see that it's available in Spanish. It tends to give an image, and sometimes they'll provide what's the cause, symptoms, how it's diagnosed, treatment, looking ahead. And again, these are reviewed. They'll list the reviewer and also the date that it was reviewed. There's the nice function with Kids Health is they also provide an audio version so that there are times where when you hand someone text, they may be a more audio learner, so you can actually play this, or they can access the site and play it so that they can follow along with the text, so it's more understandable, and they'll have better. They can comprehend the information more effectively. For teens, there's a heart and circulatory system. And we'll see the notes. Yeah. Again, the same functions. There's the audio. You can print. You can adjust the font size. Available in English and Spanish. There's inside the heart image, and so this is targeted for teens. And they also have the diseases and conditions section, which is slightly shorter than parents, but again, it does provide a video of an EKG, echocardiogram, hypertension, high blood pressure. So these could be helpful also. This is the section for kids. They have a movie, and they can watch the movie. Again, a video that shows getting an EKG. Maybe if families are preparing for potential tests, they can watch this. This provides a patient's or as a child's version, had heart surgery, didn't stop normal. There's also take a quiz, try a recipe, and more, and words to know. So it's more interactive and encourages the child to participate. And start learning the vocabulary, which would be the words to know. They did include a smoking stuff section in that page. For specific congenital heart diseases, I was fortunate to be able to find this site, I believe probably back in 2000, late sometime in 2011. It's a great resource for specific congenital heart defects or diseases. The upper section is anatomy anomalies. They have an image of the normal heart, and there's we'll slide over to see the external view and the internal view. It labels all the parts of the heart. This is the flash animation of how blood flows through the heart. Their topics are typically set up as PowerPoint slides. So first is the normal heart, this is the anatomy, and then we'll show you the circulation. You'll see that this was last updated December 7, 2020. They do tell you if the page is available in English and Spanish, so not every slide or page is available in Spanish, but you can check. And the other advantage of this site is you can actually go into a specific topic. This tetralogy of Fallot. There tends to be 7 slides for each condition. The first will be a definition, what is it? And again, you can roll over it to see this is the normal heart, and then this would be the condition is tetralogy of Fallot. Important thing to do is if you print out, you'll only get one of them, so you need to make sure you highlight that there's information, that they should accept the actual site so that they can see both. And sometimes this locks up. Let's see. The second slide are what are the effects. Third slide is how is it treated, and it will give a description. Tends to be a little more text heavy and more not necessarily on the reading level wouldn't be the 5th to 7th grade reading level, but with the images, and if they meets with the caregiver, it may be more navigable for them to understand what's going on. They do provide a slide for the condition and the adult patient. They include arrhythmias, exercise concerns, and the last slide is pregnancy issues. Additionally, they have a section for tests and procedures, catheterization interventions, treatment and surgical repair procedures, nutrition and health issues, and then congenital heart disease. So this can be, depending on how much information the person is looking for, you can actually utilize this source, and it's very helpful. So now we'll transition to additional resources. So heart health tends to be healthy diet, healthy maintaining fitness, exercise activities. Dietary Guidelines for Americans has the latest, the 2020 to 2025 editions available. Their phrase is make everybody count and eat healthy, be healthy. They have consumer resources available. So this is the handout. You can download an executive summary. There's also materials, and this is their consumer health page. Watch a video, and there's some additional information. So in preparing for this presentation, I happened across that February is not only American Heart Month, but it's also Hike for the Health Month for Florida. So Florida's February is Florida Hiking Trails Month. So this encourages everyone to get out and learn about the state parks, but also it's a great way to incorporate activities for families, whether you have children or four-legged children. You can take your pets as long as they're appropriately on a leash and under birth control. But it's a great way to learn about Florida and different areas of the state. They also provide resources for if you can't visit a park. They have a virtual park zone, which has access. You can download audio and video scenes from state parks. They have coloring sheets, natural communities, and also virtual journal, junior ranger, and critter sheets. So it's just a fun way to learn about Florida, especially if patron has children in fourth grade where Florida is a topic with focus. It's a great way to learn about what's in the area and learn about the state. Any questions, comments? I know from my computer I was using Internet Explorer, so that explains why some of the links may not have, they worked yesterday, they may not have connected today, so just be careful. If you have any issues with the links, just let us know because we'll be glad to help. Are there any types of questions you received from patrons about health resources? Hopefully it wasn't too much information.
Mary Kate, it's Angie. There's just a couple comments saying great information. Thank you for the info and tons of info in the chat. No questions though.
Okay. Well, and following along with heart health, sleep is an important factor, and we will be, the March session will be on sleep awareness. So please be sure to register and we'll share additional resources. Within the slide, there is an American Academy of Pediatrics book called Nutrition, What Every Parent Needs to Know. It's a little older, it's 2012. So, if you don't have it in your collection, you may want to wait and see if they come out with a new edition. So that can be helpful, especially for parents to, once collections become circulating again, they can check out. It was fun finding the hike for Florida Hiking Trail Month. That just jumped right out. And you don't necessarily have to do it at a state park. I live in Pinellas County, so we have many county parks. Also, you can do any of the trails in the both Pinellas Hillsborough has a trail, right? And just getting outside and being able to be in the fresh air is a great way to relax and sort of recoup. I know we didn't actually focus on, having pets, but, pets can sometimes, petting a pet can help you lower your blood pressure. So that's you can take your pet to the park. Any questions? Again, we appreciate you participating in today's session. You're always welcome to reach out to any of us through the Florida Health Sciences Library Association. And we'll be glad to, if you have a specific topic you're looking for, we can assist with you looking at great, reliable resources, and we'll be glad to help. Through this initiative, we would like to network and work together. So appreciate you attending, and we look forward to participating in future sessions.